What we'd like to talk to you guys about today is the B2B industry and what's going on there in terms of disruption. It is something that has been neglected for a long time. The B2B industry has basically continued working with proprietary systems, with hardware on-site, maintenance and so on. But streaming has appeared much later to the B2B ecosystem than the B2C. There are similarities, but the B2B system, a TV system or ecosystem is quite different as well. So who am I? For you guys who don't know me, I am a typical West Coast guy, like sailing, shellfish, all these kind of things that you should do. And my background is in working for Telenor as a strategic content acquisition and internal kind of management consultant, working with business development and strategy for the TV unit within Telenor Sweden, Denmark and Norway, and Canal Digital, which is now Alente. And prior to that, I was some strategy management consultant for working with Nokia, Telia, Ericsson and so on with IoT, fiber, rollout plans, cloud strategies, etc., etc. So very short about Nemda as well. What we do is within the B2B TV ecosystem is that we have provided the world's first B2B entertainment platform in the cloud, which is modularized about for different segments. We take a very different stance than traditional distribution of content to for example, hotels, but also elder care and stuff like that. We'll come back to that with some more clear example of what we actually do later on. But we, in 2 years, basically, with active sales, we have reached now more than 300 customers. We're working with some large brands and many leading in their fields. For example, Abia or Norlandia in the elder care segment, in the gym segment, Nordic Wellness, in the hotels. We work with different hotels under Best Western franchise and so on. But let's define the B2B TV industry. It's not clear to everyone. I understand that because it's very different from the B2C. But how I define it, everyone might not agree on this, but I believe there's a lot of marketing myopia going on where people feel like this is our narrow way of seeing what B2B is. Historically, it's been linear channels to hotels via headends. That is not what I see. I see all screens that are not at people's homes. Basically, any company that has entertainment on screens in their premises. So it's everything from hotels, elder care, hospitals, gyms, restaurants, offices, and so on and so on. And the problem. Why did Nemda start? What was it we wanted to achieve back in 2019 when we started? Basically, B2B screens have been left out in the dark for so long, and no one has wanted to change it. Why? Because there has been globally duopolies or oligopolies on infrastructure, like 1 or 2 satellites for each region or fiber networks. The ones owning that, owning the bit pipe, and they do not want to change to any other type of distribution method just because they own the market. And broadcasters, in its turn, usually the content owners has been really good at capitalizing all the content, but not in B2B. It has been in the hands of the distributors. And what has this led to? Of course, like in hotels, we're still having zapping channels, like 1995. That is the standard globally. Hardware-dependent technologies, no customization between any screens. If you have, let's say, hardware in the basement for 10 channels, then that's what everyone's going to get in every room. You can't do any customizations. And it means on-premise maintenance, installation, service, and all this. But the commonality between all segments in B2B is that entertainment technology has been decoupled from the cloud service infrastructure universe, meaning you cannot cross-fertilize these kind of two technologies, which is really, really disturbing because there's so much value you actually can create and monetize upon. So, B2B is now in pure transformation or disruption when it comes to what is going on and what you can do, and new players coming with new types of services or offerings, new changes in value chain. But it all stems from one thing, and that is that actually streaming has appeared in the B2B TV segment. So, what we now can do is we can add that green button over there, streaming, which previously was red and was satellite or fiber. That didn't make it possible to work within the cloud. But now you have an ecosystem with streaming, signal delivery in different ways, and cloud infrastructure in one place where you actually can modularize different content perspectives to different types of services. And when this ecosystem becomes actually part of another ecosystem or other value chains, it means, for example, digital signage or PMS systems or property tech or whatever, all screens that are purposed for entertainment, if you have that service, that entertainment, you basically own that screen. But if you add cloud on top of that, it means that you also own the ecosystem around it. And you have created a completely new ecosystem. And what can we do with that? It also means, technology-wise, that you can start bundling and integrating other types of services that it wasn't possible before. Before, if you think about it, we had live channels from broadcasters, per premise, subscription models. That was what was enabled by the old tech. The new tech enables use of all types of content. It basically means you can do anything in terms of viewing habits. You can capitalize it on different ways. You can start using new sources. It's not longer in the hands of broadcasters and their linear channels. You can go directly to content owners. You can go to user-generated content, AI-generated branded content, and you combine these with so many new ways of monetizing this content. So this basically means that it both changing the value creation possibilities and the monetization possibilities, and also costs. But foremost, what I like the most, get rid of all these limitations and restrictions on where and how you can capitalize on your content. We're coming back to that soon. In this new era, there's a completely new playbook that you need to run to be successful. But if you just look at the traditional value chain, B2B TV, isolated, selling a few things to basically only hotels. It's been hospitality. Signal delivery, installation, hardware, and content. Content based on the technology. You want entertainment? Have linear channels, and then install this technology to do so. If you go to a new value chain, since this value chain is now part of another ecosystem integrated to so many other value chains, it means that the business ends up in the middle. And on screens, where actually TV is, or entertainment is the most important part, you actually can own the screen and bundle all these other services or integrate features from those into the entertainment service, providing a completely new value chain. It means that there are new partnerships, completely new competitors. You need to reposition where you're at, because the threats are not from the historical value chain, it's from the new ones. And also, be aware everyone else in the other value chains, B2B TV value chain is coming too. It's a new clash. The offerings needs to be different, and in the end, it's a need for repositioning and thinking differently. So, enough with the abstract, we're talking about all these big ideas and stuff like that. But let's boil it down to how we approach this at Nenda. 3 different examples. So, hotels. This is made straightforward. This is where we started. We basically made a Netflix for hotels. TV channels, week archive, VOD, different audio tracks, subtitling, customizable per screen, different content everywhere. No need for hardware, only a TV with a compatible operating system, internet to it. Many new types of features, add own content within the user interface, day passes, for example, if the hotel doesn't provide all the content to the end user, the end user can buy it themselves via QR code and unlock that, and so on and so on. And if you compare that what's there today, zapping local channels. All right, care. This is actually where we are like the most successful right now. And it's different, but still not different. The core is still content, and it's the streaming service. But behind the bottom up there in what we call a front layer, behind TV, that's where we find the streaming service. But since this now is in the cloud, it basically means that we own the entertainment on this screen. And that's the main purpose. It means when we add this ecosystem around, we can add any type of service on top. Information that you can add, for example, what's the menu to this week, what's going on in the neighborhood or whatever. And you can also add like video calling and stuff like that. Just imagine being from a relative. My grandmother, for example, she could call me by just pressing a face of me on the big screen, calling me directly in a secure line to my phone. This is completely new. Nothing of that existed before. It was B2C setup boxes, 3 months cancellation times, double remote controls. It's also paying for the elder care operators as well. And then something completely different. For pubs, gyms, restaurants, and so on. Imagine when you're in the gym. You're standing on a treadmill, like during lunch, running 5K. You have like 90s sitcoms without sound in front of you. And you're paying for this. That is the worst fit of content there can be. And these screens are awesome positioned in the environment, which means that you could capitalize on them completely different. So what we do here instead is that we provide entertainment, more like user-generated content or travel-specific or action sport or something like that in different types of virtual channels. And within that flow, in this virtual channel, we also provide the opportunity for the gym or the restaurant to add digital signage, to make it, put in promotions for like tomorrow night, quiz night, or buy 1 PT hour, get 2 for free, and so on and so on. This we provide for free. So we take away all the content costs from broadcasted channels and all these, and providing a better product in terms of content. We give them for free digital signage, and the only thing we want in return is the possibility to commercialize it via actually selling ads within those channels. All this is managed via our web portal. That was examples, but now a few trends that I see, and those are the ones that I want to spur the ideas of you and see how this applies to you, and I'm happy to have questions about them. It's a quite busy slide, also apologize for that, but a few things are very clear what's going to happen in the B2B segment. From regional to global, streaming is global, cloud is global, but satellites, fiber networks are not. It's going to be global players in both the tech scene and also the content scene taking over more and more. Offerings, we go from TV channels to service bundles with entertainment as core. We are not going to push linear channels anymore. We're going to push solutions enhancing the businesses for our customers. but entertainment is the core of that. We're going from subscription models and transactional for implementation to actually any business model you can use. But ads will be added to the mix, and there will be hybrid models in all cases how you can monetize this. Value chain and ecosystem. We go from isolated, mature B2B TV, and we're going to have integrated and complex ecosystems instead. Your best friends might be someone you didn't even know, and so on. And also your competitor might be someone that you partnered with before. And then content sourcing, from broadcasters to new content sources, obviously. And this is a very interesting part. You can already see new powerhouses pop up like Duke in Media or Video Elephant and stuff like that, aggregating user-generated content and selling that as a aggregated service. And there's so much room here to find niches that are great and big when you capitalize in the B2B segment going forward. So, thank you very much.